At the core of this course is really to understand that policy dialogue is a real type of intervention where you can make a difference in terms of policy impact, which means you focus on the relevance, on the quality of policy, and down strategic directions and the operational support you can give. But it's all about the issue of policy impact ultimately. The challenges that participants face is that sometimes policy dialogue is quite looked as an add-on. It's not this ingredient that actually is essential in the logic of intervention of any program that is supported. Participants quite often see that they're kind of confined in a sector program, and that bigger issues are not easily be taken up. So there's this issue of linkages between policy dialogue space related to sector support programs, but also the broader issues that need to be taken up on the political level, which means also there is an organization issue between political dialogue, policy dialogue, that may be around sector issues, but ultimately it's not only sector issues. It's always about governance. It's always about allocations in the national budget, priorities. Policy dialogue is about negotiating values, the attribution of values really between stakeholders. What are the priorities? What are the preferences of a society? It's important to stress that while we focus a lot on negotiation and on the dialogue space between the EU delegation staff and government, which is the donor government space, ultimately what matters most is that this policy dialogue in that space actually has an impact on the democratic space where these values are negotiated. Many EU delegations, most EU delegations, they lack the institutional routines to really communicate better, share information across the political side, EEAS and DEVCO, or what kind of approaches and priorities to set in the policy dialogue with their multiple partners ultimately, because it is on technical level, on political level, it is formal, informal fora, etc. So there are all these spaces, and ultimately the dialogue that happens in those spaces needs to contribute to the dialogue that is really a society's, a country's own dialogue space, a democratic dialogue space.